All right, welcome future real estate superstars. I'm your coach, and today we are going to tackle one of the topics that trips people up the most on the Florida real estate exam, property title. But you know what? Don't even sweat it. By the end of this quick rundown, you're going to feel so confident you'll be turning these tricky questions into easy points on your way to getting that license.
So let's put you in the driver's seat. You're the agent, you've been working with the Baker family for months, and they finally found it, the one. The dream home, kids are already planting their forts in the backyard, the offer is signed, closing is just 2 weeks away. You can practically taste that commission check.
And then you get the call. The title search came back with a huge red flag, a construction lien. Turns out the last owner never paid the roofer, and now there's a legal claim stuck to the house. The Bakers are freaking out, the seller is clueless, and your whole deal is hanging by a thread. See, knowing this stuff isn't just about passing a test, it's about saving the day for your clients.
Okay, so to fix the Baker's problem, we've got to go back to the very basics. How does property legally move from one person to another? Well, this whole process has one big official name, and it's the key that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about.
And that name is alienation.
Yeah, I know, it sounds a little weird, like something from a sci-fi movie, but all it means is the transfer of title. That's it. It's the official legal term for when a property gets a new owner, and this can happen in two very, very different ways.
And here we go, our first exam alert. Listen up, I can practically guarantee you're going to see a question about this. The exam absolutely loves to test the difference between voluntary and involuntary alienation. So let's lock this concept in right now.
Let's break it down side by side. Over on the left, you've got voluntary alienation. The key word here is willingly. The owner has a choice and decides to transfer the property. This is your standard everyday sale or when someone gives property as a gift or leaves it in a will. This is where you'll make your money. Now on the right, you have the total opposite. Involuntary alienation. The owner does not agree to this. The transfer is forced on them by the law. Think foreclosure or the government taking land. No choice in the matter.
So let's zoom in on three big examples of involuntary alienation you have to know. First is sheet. This happens when someone dies, they have no will, and no family or heirs can be found. So where does the property go? To the state. Second, eminent domain. That's the government's power to take your property for public use, like building a road. They do have to pay you fair market value, but you don't get a choice. And then there's adverse possession. Now this one is wild. This is where someone can actually gain title to a property just by using it for a long time under some very, very specific rules.
All right, now that we know the two main highways for transferring title, it's time to open up the terminology vault. Think of these next few definitions as your legal decoder ring for the exam. If you know these cold, you are going to have a massive advantage.
First up is the chain of title. It's exactly what it sounds like. The complete, unbroken history of who has owned a property, linking every single past owner one after the other. The best way to remember it? It's the property's family tree. Simple as that. Okay, so if the chain of title is the entire family tree, the abstract of title is the summary of all the important stuff. It's a report that pulls together everything from the public records, deeds, mortgages, liens, you name it. So think of the abstract as the highlight reel of that family tree. It shows you all the drama.
Next up, constructive notice. Now this is a legal idea, so listen close. It means that once a document, like a deed or a mortgage, is officially recorded down at the courthouse, the entire world is legally considered to know about it. The best analogy? It's like posting a flyer on a public bulletin board in the town square. You might not have personally seen it, but the law says you should have known it was there.
And finally, the star of the show in most real estate deals, the deed. This is the official piece of paper. It's the written legal instrument that actually transfers the property. Now, know the players. The person giving the property is the grantor. Think or like an owner. The person receiving it is the grantee. Grantor to grantee. You have to know this one. All right, team, huddle up. This next part is an exam trap warning. These are the ideas the test writers use to trip people up, but that's not going to be you. We're going to make sure you can see these trick questions coming from a mile away. The number one trap on the test is mixing up actual notice and constructive notice. Let's make this super simple. Actual notice is direct first-hand knowledge. You saw it with your own two eyes, someone told you directly, you're holding the letter. Constructive notice is the stuff the law presumes you know just because it's been filed in the public record. So the bottom line is, actual is what you do know, constructive is what you should know.
And there it is again, exam alert. I promise you they will give you a little story. Something like, a buyer walks the property and sees that a neighbor's shed is built 2 feet onto the land. What kind of notice is that? Well, you saw it, so that's actual notice. Then they'll ask, a mortgage was recorded last week. What kind is that? It's in the public record, so it's constructive notice. Do not fall for this trap.
The other huge exam trap is adverse possession. In Florida, you can't just wander onto some land and claim it. There is a super strict test. The possession has to be open and notorious, out in the open, not a secret. It has to be hostile, which just means without the owner's permission, and it must be continuous for 7 straight years. But wait, there's one more, and this is the one that gets everybody. The person claiming the land must have also paid the property taxes on it for all those years.
And let me be crystal clear here. You need every single one of those conditions. The exam might give you a story where 4 out of the 5 conditions are met. Well, guess what? If just one is missing, say they didn't pay the taxes, the claim fails. It is all or nothing.
Okay, awesome job. Let's lock all this in with a super fast recap. This is your final game plan, the 3 things you absolutely must drill into your memory before you walk into that testing center. Number 1, alienation just means transferring title. And remember, there are 2 paths, voluntary, like a sale, where everyone's happy, and involuntary, like a foreclosure where they're not.
Number 2, notice is everything. Actual notice is what you know directly. You saw it with your own eyes. Constructive notice is what you're legally supposed to know because it's in the public record. And number 3, the deed is king. It's that official paper that makes a voluntary transfer happen, moving the property from the grantor to the grantee.
So let's go back to the bakers. With what you know now, you understand that a lien is a title problem that has to be solved before closing. You have the words, you have the concepts, and you have the confidence to explain what's going on. You've got the playbook. So the only question left is, are you ready to go out there and be the expert your clients need you to be? You got this.